going on, guys? We're here at the Kawan Raw podcast shooting episode Built from the Ground Up. And I want to introduce my brother, Charles. And
nice to meet you. I mean, I'm messed up. I'm sorry.
Nice to meet you.
I'm sorry. Let me get it together.
Nah, listen. It's good.
Nice to meet you 30 years ago. Word, right?
Nah, it's good.
It's
good. We need that. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
What's going on, guys? We here at the Kawan Raw podcast shooting an episode Built from the Ground Up. We're here with my brother known as Charles Ross. Yes.
Thanks for having me, bro.
It's a pleasure, man. What's going on? How you doing?
Not much, man. Just hanging in there, man.
Yeah.
I'd like to say thanks for having me.
Yes, likewise.
I appreciate you. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate you.
Proud of your growth.
Yes.
Proud of how the man you turn out to be.
Thank you.
The father that you are to your son. We need more of those.
Yes, we do.
So I'm proud of you, man.
And I just want to tell you too, I'm proud of you from a kid watching you and seeing your every move and being able to look back and sit in this seat today and have these conversations. I'm honored and it's a blessing. And before we get into it, I want you to introduce yourself because I know you as Charles, but I want my audience to know you as who you say you are.
My name is Charles Barnhart, born and raised in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, originally from Brooklyn Avenue and Dean Street. Just being here today to be able to tell my story is a blessing. You know, I'm 50 years old, seen it all, done it all, had my ups and downs, good and bads, but where I'm at today, you know, I just thank God every day to the man I turn out to be.
Yes.
So, you know, like I said again, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we got to get into it, right? So what do you do for a living? What's your occupancy?
Well, as of today, I'm a construction superintendent.
Nice.
I worked for one of the biggest construction firms in the country. Prior to that, I was a carpenter, union carpenter, Union Local 157. And now I do construction management. And I switched over April 18th, 2018. That was one of my biggest accomplishments in my career as a carpenter to a superintendent.
How does it feel?
Feels great, man. To be able to go to work, I love what I do, you know, so making that transition from a carpenter to a superintendent was big for me because it's not a lot of us in that position. And the day I got offered that position, I was a little nervous, but, you know, I went with it. And as of today, I'm doing very well, you know, so I'm happy. I'm good.
I got to say, right, out of all of the preparation to get to this day where we sitting there having this conversation, right, I felt like this one hit home because I found somebody that I could relate to in a sense where, like, we got the same upbringing, but we got the same upbringing, but we come from the same environment in a sense, right? And to see you on the other side at your age, and for me to be crossing that next phase, I was excited to know, like, yo, I could actually have a conversation and not be like nervous or overwhelmed or like, damn, it's too much. I thought of it, because remember, I got to live it every day. And as a superintendent, we all in the same field of learning how to work with these, and to use this and put both of those two together and to have this conversation is like I'm honored, and I can say I'm proud of you, and I look up to you in many different ways, and not even just work wise, even just being a father and just being a individual who not only upkeep his community but within himself and his kids, your son. To see that's motivation. So when you say you proud of me, that's one of the things I can say back. I'm proud of you for just being that leader, that role model, because we don't have too many of those. And today we're going to get into how reachable you are, in the sense where if you got to come back and post somebody, you reachable in that space where, like, you could give somebody that advice. And it don't even just got to be giving somebody a job. It could just be a conversation. Like, nah, little bro, don't even go that way. Get into the union, get your 401k or get your annuity, your pension. So I'm excited to have this conversation. And before we go, I got to ask you one question. If you had one word to describe who you are, what would you say?
one word. I would say two. Great dude, man. Good dude, man. Great person, man.
Nice.
You know, coming from where we came from and the obstacles that we face, that I've faced over the years to be where I'm at today, you know, I'm just proud, man.
So being that you say that that is your biggest accomplishment of where you at now, right? But what about the standpoint of the family guy, the father, the individual outside of work? Because that's an accomplishment that you take with you and you learn in the work field too. Because you got to learn how to be able to be around people and communicate too. So it's not like I'm a great guy at work, I work hard. It takes personality, it takes character, it takes everything. The way you walk, the way you use the bathroom. So how those accomplishments?
Growing up, you know, coming from where we came from, I say that over and over. Getting into the Carpenters Union, it taught me how to be a man, taught me how to be responsible, take accountability of, you know, everything in life, you know, because, you know, not all the times, you know, nothing is given to you. You know, you got to go get it. And for me, being in the streets and having my dealings with, you know, drugs and just running around, you know, being with the guys, doing things that I wasn't supposed to do, I learned from my mistakes. And a lot of times people don't learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
They continue to do the same thing. And it was a part of my life where my back was against the wall. And getting into the construction business, it just changed me. You know, it took me from being a kid to a man. And I learned so fast. And, you know, it rolls over to me being a father because I try to teach my son what not to do.
Yes.
You know, I teach him, you know, I tell him in so many ways things that I did in life. I don't get into depth with him, but I let him see my growth and him watching me getting up every day, going to work and taking care of business and do what I got to do for him.
Yeah.
You know, it shows him a way of what not to do and something to look up to.
Yes.
You know, because I'm his hero. And I love him to death, man. He's a very smart kid, and the one thing I don't have is problems with him. You know,
yeah.
he makes me proud. That's my success. Is
yes.
my son. You know, so just being there and teaching him, you know, what I can to make him, you know, be professional and just go through life and being the man that I want him to be opposite than what I was, you know, is a blessing.
So when did you say you felt like you made a difference? Or when that finally, like, it clicked for you, like?
Far as for me?
Just life-wise, parenting, you going, because remember, everything is a phase, right? And even when you jump from 1 to 3, it's still a step that you got to take.
Right.
And for you to have to take those steps, you got to go through a lot. Right. And we might see you going through it and you might hide it. Your son might see, oh, that's my role model. But that sitting in a dark room by yourself and figuring out, like, damn, like I had enough, but I got a reason to keep going.
Yeah, he's my reason to keep going.
That's
you know, he, like I said, he makes me proud. You know, my son is a 4.0 student.
Yeah.
Just this summer, he took his Regents exams. He got 90s on him.
Nice,
you know,
that's
and
fire.
I constantly stay at him, you know, education first, you know, because he plays football.
Yeah.
But I always tell him, you know, education first. And I have no problem with him, man. He makes me proud, man. That's my boy. I love him to death.
That's fire. That's how I feel when it comes to my son. Like, just like you say, right? You passing that torch. And, you know, we go out in the world and we face with adversities and we got to go with our armor. And when we come back home, we got these precious kids that we got. Your wife, your son, whoever. It could be even just a dog, and they got to deal with the shit that we experience, that we given outside, and got to bring it back home. So being that you have that why with your son, and then be able to be like, damn, this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
When you can see him and he like, nah, I want to be like my pops. If it's not something that he's doing construction wise, I know the work ethic. I know the times that he put in of the preparation, the countless nights where you tired and you overworked, and you still got to find a way. You still got to upkeep the home. You still got to do all these things in order to be who you are, so that way your son can see you as that superhero. So that's a good thing. And that's also inspiration too, because look how he look at you. When you see somebody that don't judge, not to say they can't judge you. They don't judge you because they see the stuff that everybody don't see. The sick, the pain, the hurt. And when they see you going through it and they see like, damn, like that's really my pops. Like I see that with my son now, and he'll give me a hug and he'll be like, yo, Dad, I love you. And I'll be so caught up in not being present that's his way of like, yo, like, Dad, I love you. And he'll say it 5-10 times and be like, oh, Dad, my bad, I keep saying it. And then I'll realize like, oh shit, he's trying to get me out of that putting up my guard.
Right.
Because you got to go out in this world, it's a war. Yeah. You step outside, it's a war. Whether you're going to work, you got an honest job, you doing the wrong thing, it's a war. And you got to be able to upkeep that and still come home and protect home.
Right.
So to see that and to actually be living it, I feel it. Because these kids they are the future.
Right.
And for you to be so proud of that accomplishment outside of all your success, that's the knowledge. And that's where you say, right, I can't teach you how to shoot a gun and I won't.
Right.
But I can teach you how to use these.
Right.
And whatever you put your mind to, whether it's football, basketball, whether it's just even being a lawyer or a doctor, at least you know how to take those tools with you to get to where you want to be at.
Right.
So that's dope. And one of the questions I have for you is, what's a typical day for you?
Wow. So I'll take you from when I was a carpenter to a superintendent. As a carpenter, you know, my day-to-day is just hands-on, you know, going to work, building out the job, reading drawings,
Yeah.
you know, building based off what the developer or the design team chose for us to build. Because when I was a carpenter, I was a subcontractor for a union.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a superintendent, I am the contractor.
And
so
you
I'm
work for the company.
No, I am the company.
Oh.
I am the owner. I'm the guy.
That's
so, but my day to day, I'm dealing with hundreds to 150 men a day, men and women. I'm dealing with carpenters, electricians, plumbers, steam fitters, all tradesmen, union trade workers.
Yeah.
And my day to day is just helping them do their job. You know, getting any conflict of them building that they will have to stop to proceed with their job. I have to get the answers for them. So I have to go back to my design team and my team to get them the answers so they can, you know, do what they have to do. So my job is more mental. It's not physical as it was. So, you know, like I said, back from 2018 to now, my job is more mental than physical.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So, and I tell you, what makes me proud of my position is like, and I'll use you an example.
Yeah.
Like if you was to, like, you're Kawan Construction,
yeah.
right? And I'm a union carpenter. And you call the union hall, I'm out of work, and you need a carpenter to come work, you call me off the list.
Yeah.
But now that I'm a superintendent,
yeah,
you work for me now. So it's a big jump in my career, and I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. And like I said, it's not too many of us in those positions. So that's another thing that makes me proud and happy to be in that position.
That's fine. And it's good too, because sometimes we need that person that has, like they say, like how you say back in the days, 1 foot in the streets and 1 foot out, right? We could use that same analogy and put 1 foot in of success, both foots in of success, but you're still reachable for people who are like us, like you say, to be that testimony, because that's big. To be able to, it's one thing of gatekeeping information, but there's another thing to be resourceful in the community where we don't really have that ability to, or we don't have the access to. And sometimes, like they say, it's a crab in a barrel. So when you are resourceful like that and you're able to give back and reach back and have this conversation where we talking about shit that we don't even normally even have. Like we don't know. I wish I'd have known, not to say I wish, right? Everything happens for a reason. But to know what I know now at 31 years old in the space that I'm in, it's crazy because these kids that was born into it, they started 18.
Right.
They nepotism in the sense where they started where they pops was already into it.
And not to cut you off, and I'm glad that you said that, because when I came up in the business, I didn't have the father, the uncle, the brother, the nephew. I went in as Charles. And I made it this far in the business, you know, and I love to go back and give people, you know, advice and how to get in and, you know, how to flourish in this business.
Yeah.
I love to do that. I love to help people out, you
Yeah.
know, because, you know, a lot of people, they don't want to give that help. You know, they like you said, gatekeep. They want to keep all the information to themselves and they don't want to see other people come in and prosper.
Yeah.
But me, I love to give, you know, people information and advice on how to, you know, proceed, how to go about to get into the business and to go far the way I did. I love it.
We're going to get into the legacy you built, right? The legacy you built of, like you say, we didn't have that uncle, that brother, that cousin, that father that gave us this information. We had to kind of stumble upon it, and then we kind of had to better our knowledge, right? So as a person with wisdom, knowledge, what do you say, or what advice would you give the younger generation that wants to be a construction superintendent one day?
My advice to the youth, you know, to anybody that wants to get into the business, you gotta go get it, man. You gotta put your mind and see, my thing is, I had ups and downs in the business.
Yeah.
You know, when I first got into business, my mind frame was the money. And sometimes when you go into a situation where you're thinking about money only,
Yeah.
it's going to take away from
The
joy of it,
in the process,
and the knowledge and skill that you're going to have after it.
Yes.
So during my process of becoming a carpenter in the beginning, my mind was just money. And when I like I said, I made mistakes, you know, we could get into that.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
the second time when I got a chance to get back in, I said I would let my skill make the money.
Nice.
So my advice to people that come in, think of it as a skill that you're going to have for a lifetime. Like me, when I became a super in 2018, one of my old foremen reached out to me. This is around 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
I was already a super at the time. He's like, Charles, I need you to, she's like, they call me Charlie.
Yeah.
So he's like, Charlie, I need you to come. He bought a house for his son out in Long Island.
Yeah.
And he was like, I need you to come put some kitchen cabinets together. So I went out to Long Island. I did his kitchen. And it took me 8 hours. It was quick, real quick. And with that 8 hours, I didn't even really ask for no money from him because that was my foreman.
Yeah.
You know, we gained a relationship over the years. And he gave me $1,000, you know, and things like that. That's a skill that you can have for a lifetime. You know, and I've done side work, you know, and right now I'm trying to put a team together to start a little contracting company, you know, so, yeah, just going it, not thinking about the money, but think about the skill. Think about what you're going to have at the end.
Yeah.
That's going to, you know, that you could take forever. And that comes from any trade, carpenter, plumber, electrician, any skilled trade that you want to pursue in life.
Yeah.
Just think about the skill first, because that'll make the money for you.